Sorry I haven't posted any videos in a while. It's been nonstop fireworks at night, as you'll hear in the background. It's actually not quite as bad tonight as it's been. This usually goes to about 2 or 3 in the morning, depending on the day. Weekends usually later. But I have videos that I've wanted to do, and I've been just putting them off because I just haven't had the time to do them, or fireworks. So the first one I wanted to talk about a little bit. I didn't outline this, so I apologize if I'm a little all over the place. Is like the different techniques I use for meditation and astral travel induction. So what I do is when I'm getting ready for bed, I usually get into a comfortable position, laying down, and I've created several playlists. I'll link some of them below. You know, I'm still kind of modifying and adding things to them. Usually what I'll start with for that is a short video that is the demonic end chanting, especially if I'm working with a particular spirit or demon. So, you know, if I was working with Lilith, I would use hers, Lucifer, say, you know, and there's tons of videos of those on there. So, and they can vary in length from, you know, 15 minutes to an hour. I usually do the 15 minutes because that gives me enough time to rush around, get comfortable, and all that stuff. So once I've done that, I think I went over this a little bit in a previous video, is, you know, I'll do a series of, you know, guided meditations, various invocation videos, you know, some ambient music, or like an astral travel induction music, something like that. So really what you want to happen when you're doing that kind of deep meditation for astral travel is, and I'm going to have to look some of this up because I always mix up because a lot of it comes down to your brain waves and what they call is the theta gamma sync, where you're in a deep meditative state, which is like almost being like a light sleep. But in the gamma phase, you're hyper aware of it. So you've got like this very high processing kind of visual acuity while being in a very deep meditative state. So the first type of waves are delta waves, and those are the ones that are really slow and generated during like the deepest part of meditation and dreamless sleep. And, you know, it's your awareness is completely suspended at this time, and you know, this is sort of the most restorative part of like when you're sleeping. So we don't want to be in that phase. I mean, you might end up falling asleep and going there after, but that's kind of where you don't want to be for the meditative state, because you're just going to be sleeping basically. So where you kind of want to be, and you'll see these measured in hertz, is 3 to 8 hertz, and those are the theta waves. And those they do occur in sleep and also in deep meditation. So, and that's really our gateway to really expanding the consciousness, drawing from memories, you know, if you're doing any kind of like dream work divination, that's where that's going to kind of come into play. And again, with astral travel, working with demons and dark spirits in the astral realm, that's kind of the where you want to be as far in your brainwaves. So, and as an ADHD person, it's not always easy to get there. Some nights I just, you know, I'm like, do. My brain's just, you know, I'm having conversations with like 20 different people inside my head. So when we're in the theta state, you know, we're focused on, you know, sort of our own internal mechanisms, and you might sort of drift off to sleep a little bit, but you're not in a super, like the delta sleep. You're in a very light sleep, which is fine. And, you know, you're going to be really having a lot of vivid imagery and have access to information that's beyond our, you know, your normal kind of range of consciousness, where, you know, you have that aha moment, or, you know, you make a connection with something, and, you know, that's where a lot of our our own sort of, if you're doing kind of shadow working, you know, from your own memories and life experiences and things like that, a lot of that's kind of going to come up in this state. So the alpha waves are, you know, sort of, if I was just sitting here kind of watching television, I would kind of be in the alpha wave stage. And, you know, or very light meditation. You know, it's just being present and, you know, you just get your quiet flowing thoughts coming in and out, you know, like, oh yeah, I forgot to do that thing, or I need to call this person back, or something like that. So that's kind of the alpha state. The beta state is sort of our normal waking state, when we're, you know, highly, you know, attentive and, you know, conscious of our surroundings and what's going on. And yeah, it's a little faster paced and things like that. So the gamma brain waves, and this is when we talk about the theta gamma sync, is the fastest of the brain waves. So these are 38 to 42 hertz. And it's very high frequency, and it relates to like stimulating the process of information, and it passes, you know, I don't know, maybe sort of a little faster than, you know, the alpha or beta. So the gamma state, or the gamma brain waves, is sort of, it can almost be like being in a trance state, but, you know, you're very highly attuned to what's going on when you're in this state. So that's kind of where you want to be when you're doing like the deep meditation, astral travel, when working with demons and dark spirits and in the astral realm. So that's just sort of a little bit of the science-y part of it. So, you know, what I find, and I'm going to make some more individual videos on this, is, you know, because I do get a lot of questions from viewers and people on Facebook and stuff like that. You know, like, how do I, you know, make contact with such and such, you know, how do I make contact with Lilith, or how do I do this, especially, you know, with the flying ointments and things like that. And what I find with using the flying ointments is that it does really help with the theta gamma sync, because it's sort of like you get a little more calm, so you're in that theta state and, you know, slowed down a little bit, but then yet you have the higher processing of the gamma state where you're almost like in a trance. So, and it also, depending on the herbs and stuff that are in them, or especially the entheogenic herbs that are in them, that's going to also help you connect with the spirit world and, you know, really bring a lot of vivid imagery, as well as what I guess sometimes they call it like lucid dreaming. So your dream recall, especially with certain herbs like wormwood and mugwort, like I can get up the next day and write down in like exact detail, exactly, you know, everything that was said and happened in when I was doing astral travel or, you know, lucid dreaming or anything like that the night before. So they also do help with that dream recall part of it, because some people don't remember their dreams. I mean, even normally I have pretty decent dream recall. Like I can remember things I dreamt like as a little kid. So that's just something that, and it does take some time, you know, when you're kind of starting to go into that state and quieting down. And you might be able to get there like that, or it might take you 20 minutes or an hour sometimes just to get your brain to quiet down. Like I have a very active brain that is just, you know, firing on all cylinders all the time, which can be very annoying when you're trying to sleep or meditate or anything like that. So, you know, trying to get your brain to focus, and it's okay, you know, if you lose focus and there's suddenly like, oh yeah, I have to call that person. You're like, okay, let's go back to the middle and try this again. So that's just some quick sort of meditation tips and for getting into the right state of mind for doing astral travel or soul travel or anything like that. Now, there's a lot of different techniques as far as astral travel goes and soul travel and things like that. I find for me it helps to do some sort of creative visualization, which the guided meditations will help with if you like that. If not, you know, as you get more and more learned in the process and experienced with it, you start to kind of build a framework around that. Like, okay, well, I work with this particular demon in this setting, or, you know, there's, you know, some people talk about building an astral temple, which I'm kind of in the process of doing, so I'll probably do a separate video on that at some point. And, you know, you really just kind of, it's going to be a different experience for everyone. And, you know, sometimes it's 20 minutes for me. Sometimes I have a full, like, 2-hour or longer experience. Like, I'll like, be like, okay, it's midnight, doing this now. And then, you know, I'll kind of come out of it and be like, wow, it's 2 a.m. Wonder what happened. So, yeah. So that's kind of a little bit of what I've been working on, and I hope you find this video helpful. And if you have any questions or want any further clarification on like specific astral travel techniques, I mean, there's a lot of really great like videos and courses and things like that online and on YouTube that can kind of give you some step-by-step things. Because soul travel is a little different than astral travel. You know, you're talking about, they're both kind of out of the body experiences, but they're a little different. So maybe I'll do another video on that, you know, like I do. But anyways, thank you for watching, and thanks to my Patreon supporters, and don't forget to click like and subscribe. Love y'all.